Welcome again and again and again to this moment, to your voice, to your eyes, to a perspective, in awe of being able to get so involved in the minutia sometimes, so involved in the minutia, and then we can look at the perspective. We can take a step back and reframe is one way of putting it. Um, the joy of perspective, the joy of whatever little thing that I'm getting into. I forgot to leave a tip last night. I will call today and figure out if I can cash app him some money. But it's that perspective of like, oh, I could start to like, why, how could I forget something like that? Um, and to like, yay, I remembered. um, and not making yourself do that. There's this new age, like, look at the bright side that I find incredibly annoying because both sides exist. I don't want to push aside. This is such a tiny thing, right? How much I care about people that rely on tips for their income. How much I care for the perception. um, you know, I was a uh, I was at a table full of people that are not that are have this stigma about tipping, and um, I don't want to add that to the world. So the perspective is like, oh, I'm just in awe of um, yes, in awe of the yes. How much I care, and how much I bet I can figure out how to get this guy some money. um, and in the bigger perspective, it's such a little thing. In the perspective of that, we're we're in this world where we're doing some pretty horrible things to each other in the way that we don't have perspective. We don't have this big picture, that um, getting wrapped up real tight about things, allowing that to be there, that noticing with compassion, like, oh, there's some tightness in your body around what's going on, whether it's somebody did something to us, or somebody's action impacted us, to put it in a more neutral way, and to give a perspective. You know, I I have another moment to bring my actions into the world in a way that's can I believe is going to impact the world in a positive way. Certainly going to impact me in a positive way. And sometimes that's the only thing I could do. So it's a way of looking at the world from like a metaphor in NBC is like a giraffe. Be able to look around from a place that you can see a little bit better rather than this little minutia that I I'll speak for myself. I can get really wrapped up tight in. It's so good for me to sort of breathe into what's important to you now, Barbara. It's often ease, and then underneath that, what's there? And then I get to my gut, right? Oh yeah, wanting, wanting a world where we all care for each other, where it matters how we treat each other, how our actions impact each other, including myself in that world. Breathing in, I have this breath in this moment. Breathing out, relaxing into the awe of a huge perspective of what will this thing look like in a year that I'm wrapped up about? What what perspective will my friend Jihan be able to give me? That's one I can always count on of blowing it up to a much bigger sense of what's really going on in me and in the world. So I'm inviting you this morning to breathe in to this inner world of what is going on here, what is going on now. If you're taking a walk, what is this sensation of your feet hitting the ground, of what's going on in your belly, what these thoughts, how they're impacting you right now. And then breathing out and imagining yourself on the top of a mountain, being able to look out and say, and what's really important right now. What am I on? What am I in this world for? Is it to get really uptight about that one little thing that seems so important that I really um, maybe I wrap up with the need for consideration or the need for mattering? That little thing that with a different interpretation, it could be something else. So I don't want to ignore the part of me that gets tense about stuff. Really want to breathe into that with compassion. Then I do want to breathe out with awe and wonder and curiosity. And how can I bring more love into the world? How can I bring more kindness, care, compassion? Isn't for me, I don't know what's important to you. That that's that brings tears. Tears of awe of like, how can I forget? How can I forget how much people are important to me and how much I am important to that relationship? Not throwing away one for the other. Offer this blessing to your loved ones. Often our perspective is a little bigger than theirs. Offering it to neutral people, people that we don't know very well, like the waiter last night. Offering this compassion to people that tend to get us wrapped up a little bit tighter. Putting them in a space is like, oh, I don't know what's going on with them. I think I know, but I really don't. And then sharing with all beings in the world. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for listening.